I'm gonna stop Moses and stop that hype, and then fight Dubois for world title, kill him, and become a world champion.
Daniel Dubois has experienced Filip Hrgovic firsthand, so his warning about Moses Itauma deserves attention. Itauma may enter as the favorite, but Dubois knows exactly how difficult and unpredictable the Croatian heavyweight can be.
The ring with Hrgovic, a great fighter, tough animal type guy, experience. It's going to be a fight I'm going to be definitely watching, and I think the whole division, the whole world's going to be watching. It's great dust up. Let's see.
Next Saturday at London's O2 Arena, the vacant IBF Heavyweight Championship will be up for grabs. The title became available after Alexander Usyk relinquished his belts in June, opening the door for two very different heavyweights. For 21-year-old Moses Itauma, the opportunity is massive. Victory would make him the youngest heavyweight world champion since Mike Tyson in 1986.
F belt is on the line now, you know, has that changed the perspective going into it then?
Not really, like, the belts just come with the performance. With boxing Hrgovic, I was taking him serious, and now that the belt's on the line, I still take him serious, nothing's changed. Like, I still want to beat him as much as I did before the belts were on the line, so like, of course, it will be an honour. I'd love to be a world champion, but it's about Filip Hrgovic himself.
Itauma has plenty of reasons to feel confident. He's young, explosive, and has been steamrolling his opponents. Jermaine Franklin became his latest stoppage victim, lasting just 5 rounds in March. But Filip Hrgovic presents a much tougher challenge. He's bigger, more seasoned, and has gone deep into fights against elite heavyweights.
But you remember what Rocky said, it's not how much you can punch, but how much you receive and keep moving forward, right?
Nonsense. I'll tell you one thing in boxing, I don't know why you've been praised to have a good chin. That's not something you should be praised for. Like, I get so much hate because people saying I ain't been hit on the chin. Ain't that a good thing?
Chin is the most important thing in boxing, man. Without good chin, you can't be great.
If you don't get hit,
or you get hit in some point. You get hit. You can't box for 20 years to don't get hit.
Not under the bright lights.
You must get hit sometimes, and if you don't have chin, you can't be a great fighter.
I'll hit you before you hit me. We'll see.
So what if I don't react?
Then we'll switch
forward.
That's fine, we'll see.
David Price also highlighted why Hrgovic shouldn't be underestimated. After seeing him dominate Dave Allen, Price was impressed by how strongly the Croatian kept his pace. That relentless pressure could be crucial because Itauma looks at his best when he dictates the action, but that can change when an opponent refuses to back off.
The Itauma, as good as he is and as he looks, because I remember seeing him on social media, then he'd won the European juniors, and we all know how hard that is, and I was like, oh now this kid must be good, and he stopped all his opponents and all that. So I followed him from early on, and he hasn't showed any weaknesses, but he hasn't been hit yet properly. That's the reality of it. He hasn't had a crisis in a fight, you know. And until that happens, there will be question marks. And this fight, I think he will take his licks a little bit, and he'll answer a lot of the questions that.
Dillian Whyte has first-hand experience with Itauma after being stopped by the young heavyweight in the opening round, giving his assessment plenty of credibility. Still, Whyte sees risks for Itauma here. He believes Hrgovic lacks devastating one-shot power, but he's tough to deter, and his history of suffering cuts could play a major role.
Just fight for Moses, but good fight for Moses. I think the fight's more beneficial for Moses than it is on Hrgovic, you know. Hrgovic's a good fighter, he's tough, not the most powerful guy, but he gets cut a lot. And if you're mobile, he seems to struggle. Moses is quite mobile. But I think it's a good fight, perfect fight for Moses in this year of his career. And I think it's a winnable fight for Hrgovic. Hrgovic stands a very good chance of winning that.
Chris Algieri pointed to another important part of Hrgovic's background. The Croatian has already faced dangerous heavyweights like Zhilei Zhang and managed to come through those tough battles. For Algieri, that experience proves Hrgovic offers much more than just physical size.
Being 33 years old versus Itauma, who's 21, by the time they fight, maybe 22, there's a big difference. And I think the biggest difference is Hrgovic has been asked the questions, and he's given the answers. Not always the right answer, like when he fought Daniel Dubois, but he's been in tough fights. You know, Zhilei Zhang, That was a brutal heavyweight fight, back and forth, stayed tough throughout, showed that his chin could hold up, showed that he had the power, showed that he had the conditioning. He's been there. With Itauma, we don't know any of those answers yet. He hasn't been pushed yet as a pro. He has a very low number of fights as an amateur, very low number of fights in general, amateur and pro. So the question marks are glaring when it comes to Moses Itauma. Yes, the talent is there. Yes, the power is there. The finishing ability is all there. He has all the makeup to be a heavyweight champion and a star at that. But what happens when he gets pushed? What happens when there is pushback, when there is resistance? And I think Hrgovic is the kind of guy that can answer those questions. He's going to put up resistance. He has power. He's big. He's been there. I don't see him as a guy who's just going to get blown out by Itauma. So there are going to be some questions asked of Itauma in this.
Don Charles is looking beyond the immediate fight. He considers Itauma a future superstar and a genuine danger to Dubois, but thinks they should avoid each other for now. His ideal plan is for Itauma to capture a world title, grow his profile, and then face Dubois about 18 months later in a huge unification showdown.
If you put him in against Daniel Dubois?
Good question and hard question. Who brings and implements their game plan on the night? It will be a very tight fight. All the current live heavy who are coming through, Daniel still walks through all of them.
You think he beats Fabio?
Most definitely.
Eddie Hearn offered one of the most interesting takes, refusing to get swept up in the Itauma hype. Instead, he backed Hrgovic, pointing to the Croatian's size, experience, and relentless heavyweight style.
He's a good fighter. I think Hrgovic is a world-class heavyweight. Is he elite? I think he's close to it. And there was one stage I think he was really close to it, but he's going to fight Itauma now. I think it's a good fight. I think Moses will be much too sharp for him, but I think it's a proper challenge. I think it's Moses' first.
Dave Allen favors Itauma, but he believes Hrgovic's recurring cut issues could become a factor. Even so, Allen considers this by far the toughest test Itauma has faced so far.
I think it's a great fight for Itauma. It'll really give us an idea how good he really is, I guess. I think it's by far the hardest fight of his career. I think Itauma wins. I think he's too fast, too sharp for Hrgovic, a bit too fresh. I think Itauma will win. I think he'll stop Hrgovic. I think he'll cut him early. I don't think it'll last that long, actually. In terms of the title, Hrgovic been high in the rankings for a long time. Itauma's beat Franklin and Dillian White. Does that deserve a world title fight? Maybe not, but it could be the next big thing. Hopefully he is. Hopefully he wins this and goes on and unifies, and then the next crop can come through.
Johnny Nelson has Itauma winning 2-0 on his scorecard, praising his youth, athleticism, technique, and ring IQ. Unlike Allen, Nelson expects the fight to go deeper, predicting either a points victory or a late stoppage, rather than an early finish.
Moses Itauma, too sharp, too smart, too technically astute for him, and too young. I think Hrgovic will give him a few things to think about to improve him as a fighter if he's going to be the heir apparent. So it'll be a learning lessons for him, but I think Moses Itauma beats Hrgovic. If he doesn't go to pit distance, stops him very late.
Do you see Moses getting hurt in the fight at all?
I see questions being answered, which he needs to, and every fight he has from this point onwards needs to be that case if he wants to be a champion and stay a champion. It can't be an easy ride all the way you're going through, because eventually you're going to come up against somebody that gives you something different and makes you think about what kind of fighter you are. If you get hit, you get hurt, you get wobbled, you get put down. You want this to happen now before you become a champion, because at that time there's too much at stake, and then you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is it, it's over, this shouldn't happen to me. So I think this is a good learning fight for Moses.
Tony Bellew is predicting an even quicker finish, backing a stoppage within 6 rounds. That would match Itauma's record, as none of his 14 professional bouts has gone past round 6. But Bellew's bigger concern is what happens afterward. If Itauma destroys another opponent at just 21, there's a real risk he gets pushed too quickly into elite heavyweight fights without enough rounds and experience.
Fights that he has now, the heavyweights, who would you say his golden goose was? Moses? Daniel?
It's Moses all day.
Okay, so do you think Moses gets through the Hrgovic fight?
Yep.
Do you think he...
I think he gets rid of him inside 6 rounds.
Do you think he puts him in with Daniel?
And then that's what worries me is he gets through the Hrgovic fight and he blows me away in 6 rounds, and then they throw him to the wolves.
Joseph Parker has also been impressed by Itauma's technical progress, but he highlighted one major danger. Hrgovic can keep advancing, maintain a high work rate, and throw powerful shots for all 12 rounds without slowing down.
Listen, Itauma is very talented, very sharp, only getting better and better with each fight. And this will be a good test for him, because Hrgovic is no slouch, and no one is just going to come easy and try and give it to him, you know? Hrgovic will be throwing punches, chasing him down, and if Moses can deal with that and look impressive, then you know he's ready for the big.
Most predictions lean toward Itauma, but this matchup may be much tighter than the hype suggests. Hrgovic has proven he can push top heavyweights, and Dubois' experience is enough reason not to underestimate him. That's what makes this fight so compelling. Itauma looks like a future champion, while Hrgovic could be the tough test standing between him and a world title. If Itauma dominates, the hype grows even stronger. But if Hrgovic pushes him to the limit, those 12 rounds could teach the young prospect more than any previous fight. So, can Moses Itauma prove the hype is real and punch his ticket to a world title? Or will Filip Hrgovic expose weaknesses nobody has seen yet? One thing is certain, this could be the toughest test of Itauma's young career. Let us know your prediction in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing updates.